Thank you for tuning in today on our episode 9, season 2. Season 3 will be kicking in pretty soon. Today I want to tell you guys on how I make $1,000 in 15 minutes. And I'm going to show you the steps that I made to ensure that my process is successful. Now, it may not work for you, but it worked for me. As everybody know about my involvement in the Doberman community, I am a stud service provider. At first, I would say that I'm not a breeder because I have no females other than my woman and the 2 cats. I think I am considered now a breeder because I breed. I'm now considered a premier stud service provider by virtue, but also by being proven. I've had people that come to me and say, hey, you know what? I want to do what you do. I said, okay, but this is not no overnight success. You're not going to pop this in the oven and get a pizza in 20 minutes. I wrote down a few notes. Most of them are ad lib, but a lot of them are just memorization on the key points. So, what it takes to be a stud service provider, but also be a premier stud? Well, I will say this. Most of my studs, Alonzo, Brody, Casanova, Titus, Cisco, all have to be proven. And I'm not talking about proven in regards to how big they are, how much food they eat. I'm talking about the total damn package. There are a lot of great studs out there, probably more or if not better than mine, but you'll never know about them. Because you know why? They're not on no platform. They're not being tried, tested. They're not being shown. And most of them are just good pets. It's almost like this car right here. Great Grand National, but what is it doing right now? Sitting in the garage. To say that, yeah, there are some great studs out there. I'm sure you're going to chime in and put something in the comments saying, oh yeah, Maximus this, Maximus. Everybody's dog's named Max, by the way. And what was the Midas? Midas, that was another one came out. Midas, all these dogs. Duke, great stud, but nobody knows about them. You got 1 or 2 videos, 1 or 2 pictures of them running around the backyard with their Coke bottle shapes, right? Coke bottle, not a V shape, Coke bottle. Oh, he's 180 pounds. He's 210 pounds. He's the size of a My Little Pony horse. Dobermans genetically wasn't designed to be that way. And historically speaking, large, oversized Dobermans do not live long or a healthy life. So this is what I do. Step number 1, I don't just buy a puppy from a breeder. I buy a puppy from a breeder that has titled champion parents. Not grandparents, not great-grandparents, not great-great-great-grandparents. I want to see what the parents are doing. My last name is Antoine, okay? Creole descent. That means I have some French in me. But that's my great-grandparents. You look at me now and look at them, we don't look nothing alike. I want to know what the parents look like, what the parents' temperaments are. Those are the indicators. Don't give me that crap about grandparent champions because that's less than 25% of the dog already. 50% of the dog is from the actual mama and 50% is from the actual father. Once I figure out what parents I'm looking for, all of my parents, now this is me now because I'm into the protection field. I like the Dobermans to do what they was designed to be, which is personal protection. I look at the titles of both parents. Luckily over there and overseas in Europe, the dogs have to be titled in something before they can have litters. Here in the United States, AKC doesn't have that requirement. That way you can just put in 2 dogs together and have puppies and call yourself a breeder. Over there, you gotta have something. Puppy title, grown dog title, confirmation title, ZTP, IGP, IPO, ring sport. You gotta have something. Now, those are gauges for me to determine what the dog, or in this case, the puppy, will be. Will he have prey drive? Will he have a good temperament? Will he be balanced? Does he have the structure? Does he have the size? All these are the things that I use as a evaluation chart. You know, boom, boom, boom. Now, if both parents at least have ZTPs or IGP1s, which used to be called IPO, and before that was called Schützen, then that's a good indicator for me. I usually tell the breeder that I want the pup that is the bully, the pack leader, the one that's biting the other pups to eat more food. I want that one because he is a leader. These are inherited traits. They're not learned from the breeder themselves. It's inherited. They know who to follow, right? And again, people, remember, disclaimer, I look for protection bred dogs, not just show line. Of course, I like dogs to look nice while they're protecting. They have to have that DNA genetic ability to work. Once I pick the puppy, I import him. First thing I do is what? I go to the vet, get him all tested again, get his fecal sample done, get all the shots done, get them all documented on my veterinarian's medical chart so we have history. After that, you know what I do? I take my dogs to my trainer. I either do Al, Lewis, Sykes, any of those. I go to them because they are hard-nosed trainers and they have the I factor. They know if a puppy has potential. Now remember, they're not gonna tell you, oh, this dog's gonna be a rock star and he's only 3 months old. But they give me the indicators that I look for to build on. Once we do the prey drive test, we do the temperament, the socialization, the food drive, then we're working with something. After that, now it's the bonding process. Depending on how you bond, it depends on how fast you can bond. With me, I take my dogs to work with me. I work for myself, so I got a crate for them. I know I'm gonna hear all the gigabyte gangsters talking about crates and crap. You know, I don't wanna hear it. Leave it in the comments. Talk to your mom about it. But I'm gonna tell you, I can't have puppies, which are babies, just running around in my office, running amok and causing issues. Can't do it, won't do it, ain't gonna happen. Like Mike Singletary said,
cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it.
That's how it is with the puppies. They have to know their place. There's gonna be no pressure on these puppies. I'm not gonna kill their spirit at all. Once I create that bond, get the rabies shots at 4.5 months old, now we're going to work. Now I'm using the food as a luring aspect. Now I'm doing the rag work. I'm doing, we use the burlap sap rag, and because that is the same material that the sleeves are used. So I won't create a bad imprint. I go to the trainers. Now, I'm not a canine trainer. I never said I was. I am a part of a club. So let's get that out there. I go to the professionals like you should and not send me some videos of you hanging your 8-month-old puppy up in the air by a terry cloth towel and now you're gonna rip his teeth out, right? I go to professionals. Depending on what kind of sport you want. Like for me, I do either French ring sport or I do IGP. Now, I may tap into PSA, depending on what trainer. But then we start getting into the money aspect, okay? And this is all before I made $1 on this dog. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you how I make $1,000 in 15 minutes, 3 times a month. During that process of training, I do a board and train. And I'm gonna tell you why. I work for a living. I cannot consistently go to a training field 4 times a week for 2 hours a day. Can't do it. Won't do it. It will take me twice as long, if not 3 times as long, to get one title on this dog if he makes it to that point, versus I do a board and train where the training is consistent. During that process, the trainer gives me some clues on how he's progressing or what he's digressing in. Now, a good trainer like Albin Welos, a good trainer like Adrian Santano will tell you if the dog is cut for it or not. They will not sandbag you alone. If the dog passed that boot camp of training and the foundation work is put in, while I'm still paying this monthly board and train bill, then we get to a dog of age where at, I say 16 months, then we can start getting ready for competition. During that competition, I'm going to try to breed the dog based on his potential. So if you notice all these champion dogs overseas, they're saying ZTP or IGP in preparation. Well, my boy is in preparation. I have footage of him being trained, showing his temperament, his drive, his civil defense, his stability. So now I'm breeding him. I'm promoting him. I'm optimizing his image. I'm showing him as a puppy to adolescent to adulthood the whole time. Again, there's a lot of great studs out there. Some are better than mine, but you would never know about them because guess what? They're not being promoted. They're being promoted by sitting on the couch, eating ice cream, licking your face, 10-second TikTok. That ain't gonna cut it. After I gather all of the footage and I'm optimizing, I'm showing you people, the masses, of what this dog is doing to get to where he needs to be, I am getting stud calls. People are asking me, they're asking for the health test. Now, during that process, I would have gotten all of his health tests done through Embark. It used to be called, I used to go through Vet Gen, but Vet Gen is no longer in business. I found out that Embark does an array of tests, more than just the DCM, DCM1, DCM2, DCM3, DM, VWD, DM, and also the other genetic issues, but it tells you the genetic geography of where the dog comes from, which confirms that the dog is what you bought. Now, I've had a friend of mine, I'm not gonna say his name, who had his DNA done of his dog done at Vet Gen, a Doberman. It came back that he was part Rottweiler. I realized why he never got AKC papers on a dog, and I realized why this dog is a little bit larger than most, right? But Vet Gen is a good tool. So after we do all that, once he turns 2, I don't do pre-examination on hips and elbows because they can change. I do an actual OFA hips and elbow examination from OFA.org, okay? You have to go to your certain vets to see if they're OFA certified to even do OFA examinations, but I do OFA, OFA.org. That way, now when people are asking you what kind of health tests you've had done, what kind of genetic tests you've had done, what kind of examinations you had done, you can say the dog has been tested for all those genetic mutated diseases and traits, but you're also going to say he's been examined by OFA with hips and elbows. My dog's hips and elbows have come back, hips came back good, elbows came back normal. Most of them, yes. Once you do that, now you are building the foundation of your dog being medically sound. Because most people are breeding with your dog primarily because of his looks, but his medical history. A lot of these people who call me who are looking for stud service, they're not looking to breed for the workability. They're breeding for the looks and the health. And because my dog is very visible on social media. So when people buy pups from them, they say, oh, that's Casanova's offspring. Oh, we know who Casanova is. Oui, c'est la vie, right? So we do that part. Once that is done, now we go to the titles. Once they get their first BH title, which is an obedience title in the IGP community, and then he get his IGP1, now he's what? He's proven. And you know why he's proven? Because only dogs who have passed all of the training, all of the pressure, all of the scenarios can all formulate it into one time or one situation, whether it's the tracking phase, the obedience phase, the protection phase, the dumbbell phase. Now the dog has proved to whoever want to use them a sense of intelligence, because every dog ain't smart, and a sense of stability, because dogs, a lot of dogs can now be shown as things are clear in the head, but it also shows his intensity, his prey drive. These things are instinct. They are genetic traits. Not every dog gonna be a rock star. Not every dog gonna have all these traits. Not every dog has prey drive. Those are the things that I do in order to promote my boys and stuff. What sets my dogs and my program apart from everybody else. Let's get off track. There are breeders out there who have females, but they also have studs that breed for $2,500, $2,000. That's cute. That's real cute. But guess what? They're probably getting 6, 7 studs, 6 or 7 breedings a year, maybe 8 breedings a year. I get 3 breedings minimal a month. And let me tell you where you can make your money. So when I breed, I charge $1,000. Now that may be cheap to a lot of people, but listen, there's a method to the madness. I have standards on who I will breed to. I don't breed to American Dobermans. I don't breed to whites. I don't breed to blues, fawns, Z factor, Y factor, Yo factor. I don't breed to that. They have to be 100% European, and they have to have the bare minimal test done because my name is on it, right? So after we do that part, I charge $1,000. I don't do, or I try not to do ever again, live covers of breeding. What live covers are is when the actual dog gets stuck with the female prospect, okay? The reason why I stopped doing that years ago is because I've discovered from trial and error that my male dogs can get UTIs, urinary tract infections, which sometimes can cause them to be sterile. Now you got to do medical testing, give them medicine, and you realize what is going on. So what I do now, I do one type of breeding that circumferences all the different types of insemination. I do artificial insemination. Most of the people I deal with, they use TCI, which is called transcervical insemination. That's when they use a camera and put it right there in the fallopian tube so they know where they're putting the sperm in to fertilize the eggs. Some breeders, depending on how deep their pockets are, they do surgical insemination where they make a small incision, pop the sperm in, close it back up, and you're done. Those two have a very high success rate in pregnancy conception, but also in the number of puppies, right? Live covers are dead unless it's with my dog, with a dog that I've bred to many times. In this case, I have no female dogs. My dogs are gigolos. I have no females here. This is where I make my money. My platform, my notoriety, my visibility is gonna be probably more profound than the breeders that I deal with on a regular basis. That's just the nature of the beast. Because I've been doing this 16 years almost. People know that in all intents and purposes, I've made this breed I helped make this breed popular again by it merely being for the love of the breed, not for money at all. But where I make the most money is that when I breed with your female, I give you the option. Say, hey, if you need my assistance, I can advertise your litter, and all I'm asking for is 10% or whatever the asking price is. Now, in most cases, these dogs are going from $2,500 to $3,500. Some of them even going up to $7,000. The ones that's going to $7,000, they already got their own clientele. But the ones between 25 to 35 to 4,000, I advertise for them if they want my help. Now, I get 10% of every puppy. So let's say there's 10 puppies in a litter. You're gonna get 8 to 10. But for numbers purposes, to make it simplified, 10 puppies, $3,000 a pop. Guess what? I make $300 per pup. That's $3,000 plus the $1,000 I make. So now I make $4,000 cash. And I can do that every 60 days when the litters drop, and I'm making $1,000 for 20 minutes. So that's $50 a minute. And my boy never is in health risk. He's right there with a fluffer, or they call it a buffer, which is the female that's in season. They evaluate the sperm, and guess what? It's good to go. Insemination is done. I get my money. C'est la vie. Now, people ask me, well, how do you know your dog's proven? Let me explain to you how I know my dog's proven. Let me give you a situation how I know he was proven. So when I train my dogs in protection sports, I go to the place where it's close to the hood. We're dealing with an element. The dog's got to be tough. They're either going to fight or flight. Rest in peace, I used to take my dog to Malcolm over at Master K9. Rest in peace, Malcolm. He welcomed me over there to come over there sometime and train with Lewis Williams and Mac. One of the situations was and I'm sure you guys are going to comment, whoever's a part of Master K9, one of the guys, he was a military reality K9 trainer. I don't know his name, but this really happened. One of the times he came over with a whole camera crew, and during that time I said, Malcolm, what's going on? I said, they about to shoot some footage, shoot a video over here. And that's how he talks, right? He said, I got to talk to you later. I'm about to do my part. So I'm getting my dogs ready, getting them pumped up, walking them, letting him get his pee on and stuff, And I look to my right, there's a truck container over there in the corner of the parking lot. Malcolm's on the top of the container with his dog named Prowler doing bite work with a decoy on top of this container. I'm like, this is like some wow shit. I was like, this is dope. And so now they took a break. The video crew came down from the container, from the parking lot onto the field. Now, everybody's around. Everybody got Malinois Dutches, Malinois Dutch mix, pits, California pit, not no pets, but a pit. There's a difference. And this reality guy, people, I don't know what his name is, but he's a tall, fair-skinned guy, my complexion, a little bit fluffy though, a little bit more soft in the body, unlike me. And he put on this bite helmet. Decoys also use this bite helmet. Here's a picture of a bite helmet right here. Decoys have this bite helmet they put on top of the bite suit because some dogs get real dirty and they bite the face too when they're doing protection work, right? Not every dog is gonna bite clean. A lot of dogs are dirty. So he puts this bite suit on, he puts this helmet on, he said, I need somebody to send their dog, but call him off before he gets to me. And Lee and I think Troy was like, Gerald, put your dog in there. Your dog's trained. And they're pumping me up. But I know at the other end of the spectrum, like, we're going to see what this dog's made of, right? Because we do all this training, back and forth, training, scenario. Now let's go put this on paper. We're going to see if all this training actually paid off. And this is Alonzo, my red dog. So he was always clear in the head. And anybody who knows Alonzo, who's met this dog, they will say phenomenal things about him. He was well balanced, perfect look, and he was strong but confident. You couldn't run him off. And so I said, I'm a little greenhorn, guy from Deadliest Catches. I said, I do it. I get at the other end of the field, and that Malcolm's field over here at Master K9 in Compton. It's not a big field, but it serves its purpose. So I'm at the other end of the field where the bleachers are, and this military guru guy with all this video footage people there at the other end of the field. So he said, I want you to send him and call him off before he comes to me. You sure he's gonna do it? I said, yeah, he's gonna do it. And I'm like, this motherfucker better do this. I'm like, we're gonna choke this out, right? So as he gets in position, he starts doing all this stuff right here. All right, I'm gonna tell you when to send him. I want you to send him. And I said, Alonzo, attack! And so he starts running towards the decoy. It's like the ground was shaking, dust was flying behind. And then I said, Alonzo, OPA! And he went behind the decoy, came back to me in a hill position, boom, right there, and sat right there in a hill position. That's when I knew that my boy was solid. That's a little bit more than what your dogs have to be, but in order to have a proven stud, you must get him tried and battle tested. But more importantly, people have to know about him. You cannot have a stud that looks like a Coke can to the side. You cannot have a stud that is always lounging, sitting down. You gotta show his chest. My boys, all of them, number one, you're gonna see the last two ribs so they can have a waistline. They said, well, I have an open bowl policy. I don't. Dogs will eat all day long, just like me. If I have potato chips, Lay's, and Doritos, I'm gonna eat that stuff all day long. So I don't have it because I have a control problem. With dogs, you have to put them on regimen schedule. They look towards you to follow, to be the leader, and they follow you. Remember, you're the pack leader. What I do, I make sure that I have all the different types of supplements, and I have all the different type of equipment at the house, exercise equipment, but I also take them to training as well to keep them sharpened. So because my boy breeds so much, like anybody else, they need help sometimes. They need to be given more energy, more ability to produce more sperm, because dogs, like men, we can produce sperm until the day we dead, right? But as we get older, our sperm counts gets reduced. Now, this is one of the supplements that I use, okay? This helps promote more sperm, but again, it's all about nutrition too. So, but for me now, what's the most important thing, because anybody's dog can come and eat at any given time, is that my boy has to be looking good. So if you look good, if you stay fit, you'll be ready all the time. First of all, Doberman's a part greyhound, is that right? And they're part greyhound. And greyhounds love to do what? Run. What do I have? I have a manual wooden slate treadmill, custom made by my man over here at 818. His Instagram handle's right here. He custom made it and delivered it. Now the beauty behind this treadmill is, guess what? The dog controls the speed. It's not motorized, it's not electric, so don't be hitting me up talking about, oh, that's cruel and unusual to the, no, the dog controls the speed. If you want to fast walk, he fast walk. If you want to run, he run. If you want to sprint, he sprints. People say, why you put him on a treadmill? Just let him run at a park. We are in Los Angeles, California. There's not too many parks out here that let you run your dogs loose. Unless you go to a dog park, and you've seen my series about what happens at dog parks, right? You throw your ball with your dog, there's going to be 10 dogs going for that same ball. What happens? A fight breaks out. So a controlled workout environment happens right in my backyard on that treadmill. Here in LA, I don't know, you guys may be in Dothan, Alabama, or North Dakota, or Vermont, or God's country, Montana. Yeah, you got hundreds of acres of just bears and deers. You can run them all day long. And that's called a park. Then they call one called Yellowstone Park. Now, being funny about that, because I don't know if you can bring your own dogs to run loose at a wild federal ran park, but we have regulations here. Dogs have to be on leash. We said, why don't you run with your dog? Listen, these dogs have 4 legs. We have 2 legs. How fast and how much of an exercise you think that's gonna do for a dog? These dogs can run a mile in 3 minutes. You probably running a mile in 8.5, and that's if you don't stop. Now, a few of the supplements that I use for my dogs, and again, these are supplements. The best nutrition for the dog is gonna be what he devours. I feed my dogs by the pound. I don't feed them per cup. And when I mean pound, I try to do, for my young dogs, I do raw. And of course, kibble. For the puppies or the young dogs under a year old, I usually do the 11-in-1 Zesty Paws, the multivitamin. When their ears are cut and they're less than 5 months old, and their grown teeth starts coming in, they become calcium deficient. And this is important right here when you got Dobermans with ears being cropped. So that's why when some people say, oh, my Dobie's ears are standing, but as soon as he started losing teeth, they went down. That's because the calcium in the dog's body is being drawn more towards the teeth to get his grown teeth, and now the ears flop. So this is what I use for supplement to increase the calcium intake. And you got the powder form, and you have the scoop that tells you how much. Anything you can do, it helps. Probiotics for my young dogs. This is good. I don't know how much it improves, but it's no different than me you taking all this vitamin C and D and all this other stuff that Dogs can take it too. Now, when it comes to stud service, and my dog's breeding 3 or 4 times a month, $1,000 per stud, 10% per puppy, if you want me to help sell them, I gotta make sure I give them a stud supplement. This helps promote more sperm. I haven't had too much bad luck with that because it's still in the like Leo would say, tens of thousands. Tens of thousands? Well, he's still in the tens of millions of sperm. What I've been told that works really good, 15 minutes before the breeding gets done, 1 pouch of tuna. I've learned this from California Canine out in Riverside. They said give them 1 pack of these 15 minutes before breeding. You ain't gonna have no problem. You want a problem? We got a problem.
We got a problem here? We got a problem, nigga?
We got a problem? Know how good this works, but I'm always for trying something once at least. I use Muscle Builder. Now what this is really more of is more loaded with protein and the good fats, right? And that's what helps add weight. But again, I think what builds more muscle on a growing dog is the amount of absorbent amount of protein raw meat, because kibble is mostly filler. That's why they poop more after they eat. When they're eating raw, their body takes a longer time to digest the food. That's why when my dogs are eating raw chicken, they poop once every 8 to 10 hours. Kibble, they poop in damn near 2 hours after they eat. So what I do, I load up all of the raw beef blend tripe. You can get this from my guy at La Fundación, the foundation. His Instagram handle right here. And I buy all my raw blend beef. It ships 2-day air every Monday. You put an order in, it ships out that same day. When I'm out of town, out of state, out of the country, or back in Mississippi, I let the people come by and feed my boy kibble. They're not gonna take the time out to do all this and put these on, and they're putting the gloves on, and they're mixing the food, putting all the supplements in. They're not doing all that, right? So what I simplified. Just feed them kibble. Not gonna hurt. It's only for 3-4 days, however long I'm out. Let's go and show you how we keep these boys looking as good as me. Certain dogs are finicky about eating. Let me tell you something. There's not a dog out there that would starve themselves. A dog will eat his own poop before he starves. The only reason why a dog will starve himself is if he's sick. When you're doing transitional switching of dog food from, say, Blue Buffalo to Royal Canin, and from Royal Canin to Kirkland, and from Kirkland to Blue Diamond or whatever, or Bill Jack, they go through a transitional phase where the poop may not be as solid as most. But what I do to help my dogs transition into a different kibble that is more cost effective, but also just as good quality, is that I mix a little bit of Royal Canin and I mix it in their food. I use half of it and then I mix the rest of it with the kibble. Now what that is, listen, everybody knows dogs and cats love eating wet food versus dry food. Do we like eating something that's dry, or do we like eating something moist, like ice cream, hamburgers, cheeseburger? My favorite, a tomahawk steak. Or do I want to eat it dry? If I want to eat something dry, I get jerky. We get a little discount too because my sister-in-law works for Royal Canin. Now, when dogs are taking medication, Baytril, amoxicillin, those drugs that kills bacteria or infections or UTI, it's good to mix it in with the dry food because dogs are smart. They'll sniff around that kibble and they saw that one pill. That one pill don't taste like that kibble, and they will leave that pill in there. But when you mix it in with wet food, they call it wet food, they all good in the hood. Oh, there's Gerald, the Doberman dog father.
Hey there, Gerald. I saw you on IG, and I was interested in getting stud service from your dogs.
Yeah, I mean, Casanova and Cisco are available.
Okay.
Yep.
How much for your service?
The price?
Yeah.
$1,000.
Ah, okay. It's pretty good.
We do cash, Venmo, or Zelle.
All right, I got it.
We don't do checks.
Now, do you do health tests on your dogs?
Health tests? Yeah. I can send you. You can go on OFA's website, and I'll give you their AKC number, and basically you'll be able to see all of his health tests.
Okay.
Anything you want, some videos, you just do the hashtag Casanova, the European Doberman, and hashtag Cisco, the Euro Doberman, and you'll see all the videos and footages of them. We ship out. We don't do frozen. We do chilled.
Chilled? What's chilled?
What's chilled? Well, We don't do frozen because frozen takes dry ice, a container. The containers cost a lot to ship. You got to ship the containers back. Chilled is the extraction has been done at the vet, and then we ship it off in a 10-day extender. But you got to get a progesterone test done.
Okay. Well, I'll reach back out to you.
Let me know when you're ready, man. See you later. Talk to you later. Hey, boy. That's Titus. I call him Tidy. I would say Tidy Whitey, but there's nothing white about him. So this is how I'm breaking them into the house. So I use, again, people, how we house break them is that I lure him in to the crate. So when he comes in the house, this gate is open. He knows exactly where to go. And he loves that dry liver stuff. Hey, boy. Yep. People, when I tell you my dogs win titles, this was Alonzo's second title. Alonzo was titled in 2 sports. He was titled in IPO 1A, without the tracking, and he was titled in a French ring brevet. This is one of his titles he won. This is how the magic happens. So right here, what I did, I formulated my own type of cover. So this is really a barbecue pit cover, but instead, it's a dog treadmill cover. What? All manual, there's no motor at all. Dog controls the speed. We're gonna put Casson over here. It's gonna run 1 mile in 2 minutes and 50 seconds flat. Can you do it? Unless you're on the juice. Casanova loves the flirt pole. I use 2 different type of mechanisms to keep him going. Now people ask me, how do I get him to run on this treadmill? Well, he loves getting up there first, but what gets him more amped is when his pole is out. Watch that. You hear that? Hear that? Listen, he start turning around in circles. So now let's put him on the treadmill, people. This is the hard part because he loves this. I'll be honest with you, I love it too, but I get so many gigabyte gangsters and trolling trolls that said running a dog is cruel. But isn't that what dogs are made to do? Ain't that right, Casanova? Awa, 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 awa. You want to run? Awa. He wants to run. I will oblige his. He knows where he's going. We strap him in because it's all about safety. He loves it. You see that? I use out. Now watch this. I'm gonna use that flirt pole. That really gets him going. The whole time I'm doing this, I got my watch, I got my stopwatch on. I'm timing how long he's running because he can run us up to death. Got the flirt pole. And look at him now. And this is all safe for him. Nobody's bothering him. There's no other dogs running up to him, competing for the same object. Look at him, he's just running. And he controls the speed all day long. And when he gets through running, he's good for a few hours. As he runs faster and faster, because he's trying to get it. You want to shoot from the back? Now he won the prize, but when he rebites, he gonna let go. Out, out, out. He won the prize, guys. Should we continue to run? No. So now he knows he can get it. That's how we do it. Very safe environment. Now he slows down. He's gonna kick his second gear in. He's breathing heavy. Dogs do not sweat. That way he has to cool himself down by opening his mouth up. He's loving this. After he gets through working out, he's gonna go in that shade. He's gonna drink a bunch of water. Second gear. You see his waistline. He's got a very short, small waistline. You can see almost his last two ribs. We keep him lean and mean, baby. Lean and mean. And I let him have it. Now he stops. And now he won the prize. And fellas, this is how he wins. This is how he stays in shape. And this is how I keep him ready, whether we're doing protection work or breeding. At the end of the day, he has to win, and he's my boy. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad I could show you a little bit of what my world looks like with this Doberman thing. Make sure you click on the subscribe button and hit that notification. And every time we drop something new, whether it's a short reel or an actual video, you'll know about it. Until then, next time.